Hello and welcome to another Tactical Corner here on Scardcast. Today we dive deep into the Death Guard versus Dark Eldar battle report from earlier in the week. So let's begin, let's improve our game. Hello and welcome to another Tactical Corner. So this Tactical Corner touches on the battle report that happened on Monday. So if you haven't watched that yet, I highly recommend you do. It was quite a doozy. And of course, spoilers ahead as we discuss the battle report. Now I was playing Shane with his Death Guard army. We're playing a Maelstrom of War mission out of the chapter approved book. So strategically, his army has a bit of resiliency, Poxwalker screen, Demon Prince that can do damage, and really the Leviathan, the Hellforged Leviathan Dreadnought that really just points at something and it dies in terms of shooting. He also had the Obliterators and a Lord, and it was a combination of shooting and combat. It was actually a quite a good list. My army, in retrospect, was just a mixed bag of different things: Razorwing Flocks, Cabalite Warriors, a lot of different characters, and of course, my pride and joy, the Tantalus. Now, going into the game, tactically, I knew that I needed to deal with the Obliterators. They were more likely going to be deep striking, and I knew that I was going to have to deal with that Rhino at some point, because it'll get the Plague Marines to where they want to go. And I knew that that Leviathan Dreadnought was probably going to be the bane of my existence. So I was mostly worried about the Leviathan Dreadnought. Now, the Poxwalker screen and the Plaguecaster wasn't on the high list of priorities, but it did mean that it was going to be hard for me to engage the Leviathan Dreadnought to keep it out of the fight. Now, that Leviathan Dreadnought has a crazy amount of shots. I believe it's 12 shots. They do a lot of damage. They hit on twos. They wound easily. And he's also got a couple of damage to heavy flamers on that thing, so it's quite nasty, and definitely not a unit to be trifled with 36-inch range. Now, in regards to the strategy behind my list, I was just trying a few things. I wanted to use the Scourge because they're like a Ravager that can't be shot on the first couple of turns. Razorwings are great, they provide a fantastic screen, and I wanted to really use the Court of the Archon, use as many of those different characters as possible, while still using things like the Incubi. I kind of wanted to use them since I haven't in a while. So let's start with the game itself. The Death Guard did seize the initiative, which was great for them. They were able to go ahead and really start pushing up. And the first turn for the Death Guard was a bit of a mixed bag. They dropped down with all the Obliterators and failed to really do any significant damage to my Tantalus. I had deployed significantly further back than him to prevent the Leviathan Dreadnought from just annihilating everything it touched. So the only thing he was able to really shoot at were the Razorwing Flocks. Now, the Razorwing Flocks combined with morale, they did die, giving him first blood as well. Oh no, they didn't die. I think there was 2 of them left. Now, in my second turn, once all those Obliterators showed up, I had kind of baited him into deploying there. I left a big open space in my deployment zone, and he had taken the bait. He dropped all his Obliterators down. I was willing to risk the Tantalus in order to have his entire Obliterator army show up. So I jumped on them on the second turn, and I also pulled on the first turn. The second turn, the trick up my sleeve were the Hellions in the Webway portal, and they popped up in his backfield, assassinated his character. That gave me points for Witch Hunter and killing a character as well. But it also meant I was able to charge into the Leviathan Dreadnought without charging into the Leviathan Dreadnought, using Pylon and Consolidation to get it locked in combat. Now, this did mean that he was able to move the Poxwalker screen back to increase their size, thanks to the Hellions being infantry. But it did mean that for a crucial turn, the Leviathan was unable to shoot at different targets. Not all the Hellions did die, and the Hellion at the backfield, it was great. I like it. It's hard-hitting, they move fast, and I believe it's going to be a surprising thing for any Dark Eldar general to have a unit of Hellions in the backfield just waiting to get used to go and charge and snipe characters, and they can fall back and then shoot and charge something else as well. So it really kind of adds a lot to what they can do in game, which is awesome. So then we move into the late game. I was really high on points, but the Leviathan Dreadnought just started murdering things, and I to be honest, I got really complacent. You know, if I really wanted to, you know, and I decided to go for it and kind of throw my characters, my Incubi out there, and my Lamian, and I wanted to try and get a charge on his Demon Prince and kind of have some really cool narrative, close combat stuff, and little to my knowledge, that Demon Prince was an absolute beast. So the Demon Prince killed everything else in my army. Absolutely killed the Succubus, the Archon, the Incubi, the Lamian, the Urgo. Like, you just killed everything. That, combined with the Leviathan Dreadnought, wiped my army out to the man. And by the end of turn 6, I had been tabled. So no matter how tactically good I'd been, I just couldn't compete with a Warp Timing Demon Prince that went around and murdered everything. So that was a loss, and it went away from the victory that I thought I had. Thanks a lot for tuning in. This is Scary. See you next week. It's an exclusive. We're playing the game. Lots of shooting.